Hey everyone, my name is Kelly Welsh. I am a renal dietitian for approximately 25 years, as well as the RenNu Program coordinator. I have had PKD, been diagnosed for about 25 years, the same time.
I'm Thomas Weimbs. I'm a professor at the University of California in Santa Barbara in the Department of Molecular, Cellular, and Developmental Biology. My research lab has been focused on polycystic kidney disease for over 20 years. I'm also one of the founders at Santa Barbara Nutrients that makes product that's based off of the research we made in my lab.
Well, Dr. Weims, so many PKD patients want to know so badly, what are you studying now? Because now that all of this clinical research has been produced, where are you going? What are you doing? What's happening? What can we expect in the future?
Good questions. Yeah. So, I'm kind of wearing two hats. As a professor at the university in my academic lab, we're working more on the mechanistic questions. What do ketones actually do in the polycystic kidneys? What are the mechanisms? Why are they beneficial? We're working on these microcrystals. We want to know a whole lot more about them. What do they actually do and what can we do about them? It's all much more mechanistic work. But my other hat that I'm wearing as the chief scientific officer of Santa Barbara Nutrients. So we're actually working on a lot of clinical research right now. We have over a dozen or so clinical research projects with various academic collaborators throughout the whole world, the US, in Europe, Australia, where we're planning clinical studies, and some of them have actually already started. They're recruiting to look at long-term outcomes, safety, efficacy, benefits of ketogenic metabolic therapy, of our medical food Ketocitra, in not only polycystic kidney disease, but also in diabetic kidney disease. We have one project on long COVID, for example. So there's a lot going on.
That is so exciting. And I can say from being the coordinator of the RenNu program, we too are starting to look at long-term effects of the plant-focused ketogenic therapy, tracking our first participants, which were almost 3 years ago, and what the sustainability is that they've had, the progress that they've had, what their GFRs are, what their pain levels are. So I think that, approaching 3 years of actually instituting these changes that came from your research, we're really excited to see some of these results of people that have been following this for so long. A lot of patients have asked you when you've come to RenNu class, or they ask us, sometimes practitioners have a personal investment in what they choose to study. What made you personally decide to really look into the mechanism of PKD and what might be done to actually support the healthiest of kidneys possible?
I personally came to a PKD research actually by family affected by PKD. And that was way back then when I was a brand new assistant professor at the Cleveland Clinic back in the day, before I moved to UC Santa Barbara. There was a family affected by PKD, and there were long-term donors to the Cleveland Clinic, and they wanted to fund PKD research at the Cleveland Clinic, which nobody really was doing at the time. So they found me as a new assistant professor who works with kidney cells, and we talked about what we could do, and they talked about how they could help us fund the research, which they did, and that's how we started to work on it. I hired postdoctoral researcher and other folks using those funds, and we actually made very quickly some very interesting discoveries, and that kind of launched my whole lab essentially into a PKD research lab. So that wasn't really something I had initially planned. That's really something that came from the patient side, essentially. All right. So, Kelly, you're a renal dietitian. You run the RenNu program. How can people that are interested in working with you or being part of the RenNu program, how can they find you? Where can they find more information?
So RenNu has its own website, which you can find more information there. Sign up for the next program or sign up for a free call to talk with me to decide if the RenNu program is right for you, if you have further different questions, things like that. Also find us on our PKD Nutrition with RenNu and Santa Barbara Nutrients on Facebook page. You can see me and some other RenNu dietitians as well as Dr. Weims on that page and contributing. It's a great tool for education. All right. And Thomas, it is always lovely to talk with you, pick your brain. I know that I speak for all the PKD patients out there that we appreciate so very much the research that you do. Where can people find you? Where can people find your research?
I mean, one popular way of staying up to date with our research and everything that's going on is to join my lab's Facebook group. Just type in Weimbs Lab, search for that. Anyone is welcome to join. You can also head over to the Santa Barbara Nutrients website. There's a lot of resources and information there. I highly recommend the Santa Barbara Nutrients YouTube channel, where there's a lot of content there as well.